Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to more CSGO news. I hope you guys all enjoy. Going to be a great episode. We got some crazy stories out there, which will be timestamped down below. But also a quick preface. Thank you all so much. I know I do this just about every week, guys. We have now officially broken 9,000 subscribers. We are well on our way to 10,000, which means, of course, dyeing my hair a different color. And also on top of that, thank you all so much because tomorrow is actually Thanksgiving. So we're going to have a special video for you guys planned, which I might be dressing up as something. So maybe stop back tomorrow for that. It's going to be a very special video, which of course I will continue to thank you guys in. But on top of that, you guys are of course here for CSGO news. Let's break into it, guys. We've got some crazy stories out there. The first of which is all around Astralis. Now, it's not necessarily tied to CSGO, but if you guys are fans of Astralis, you might want to hear about this. It's actually Astralis joining their second esport. It's going to be League of Legends, but under a brand new team name. They've actually acquired a brand new brand that will be known as Team Origin, and they have now officially entered the League of Legends scene. It's actually their co-founder coming out and saying a very unique thing out there. We saw this, and the first time I ever saw this was with Overwatch. You have a lot of teams out there like Cloud9 who acquired the London Spitfire. They're not called Cloud9 in Overwatch, and the Astralis brand is actually trying to keep this the same way. They're trying to keep their CSGO brand separate from all their other teams. So they will be Team Origin in League of Legends, and they will continue to be Astralis in CSGO, which makes a lot of sense. And the co-founder, Jacob, actually came out and said he wants, when you walk down the street and you see someone wearing an Astralis jersey, he wants you to think of the CSGO team, not a different team or a different esport. So a very cool thing out there, guys, as Astralis now enters their second esport, and you can imagine how expensive that was, but with how successful they've been this past year and a half, it's been crazy to see their growth, and I cannot wait to see what are the teams they do acquire. But the main story today in CSGO is all around the Chinese VAC ban list. I'll link it down below for all of you. It's been there for quite some time. Actually, I think ever since the China CSGO version was actually released just over 400 days ago. I think they actually had this list from the start. Updates on that list, though, guys, are pretty shocking. And if you guys did not know, CSGO is still free in China, so the CSGO version over there is still free to actually play. Although there's rumors out there about the Chinese credit system. If you guys have not heard about this, you know, if you ever do anything bad in Chinese society, it takes away from what they call credit, or call your social score, which is a different topic to talk about, guys. So apparently that actually affects, though, if it's affected by how you actually act in several things out there, including CSGO. So I've had someone tell me that apparently if you get a ban inside CSGO in China, it affects your social score. But again, that's probably something to talk about in the future. The more thing I want to talk about here is the vast number of VAC bans and bans we've seen so far. The blue number on the left, guys, does represent so far the number of bans in the Chinese scene in just over 430 days, breaking 700,000 accounts with a ban, either Overwatch or VAC. And on the right, that little red number, guys, that does mean the number of bans every single week is over 8,000, which is absolutely staggering to see. And that's what you get when you make a game free, though, in such a large country. So it's just staggering to compare that to the rest of the world. The VAC ban numbers that we currently do track only compare that, of course, to the rest of the world. They don't actually currently track those Chinese numbers. And I think the highest point of all time was around 80,000 bans in one single month. But then we have China consistently every single month, 30 to 40,000 bans, which is absolutely insane when you think about that. Comparing to the rest of the world, they are being banned at a far higher rate, and I guess that's what you get when you release, again, a free game in such a large country out there. Other news out there in CSGO, though, if you guys are a big Clan fan as well as a Smooya fan, he's taken to Twitter as well as interviews out there to clarify his position inside Big. He's also made sure to state, guys, anytime in the near future, he does not see himself joining any other team out there. On top of that, if you guys do follow Big Clan, they've released their documentary series for a whole season. Season 2 has started. I'll link it down below for all of you. Part of it's in German. Most of it's actually in English. It's a great series if you guys do want to watch that. On top of that, though, we actually have the return of Peacemaker. If you guys are Peacemaker fans or just CSGO coach fans in general, it's going to be Peacemaker returning now to his 7th CSGO team to coach. And for the first time in history, we actually have a CSGO team actually benching a coach, Heroic benching their coach for Peacemaker for a short amount of time. He will be returning to this roster. If you guys remember, he took a leave of absence from this team for health issues and then stepped back for them for a while. He is now back, and I do also want to clarify, every time I talk about this guy, he has coached for 7 different teams, which as a resume builder looks pretty nice. When you look, though, his longest stint was with Misfits for just over 5 months. Besides that, every single coaching role he has had with every single team besides Misfits has been 3 months or less. So he he's still being hired. Obviously, still does a good job in the scene to impress these teams. He is now back coaching Heroic, and we'll see if he actually remains or actually retains that job in the near future. On top of that, though, definitely a sadder story out there, kind of an additional story. We talked about Bubski. If you guys were not aware, this previous weekend, we had DreamHack Atlanta. Fragsters was there. It was actually HS standing in for Bubski because he had some medical issues. He talked about, having severe anxiety, severe stress, and of course how it kind of affected his personal health. He has now tweeted out officially, guys, he'll be taking a step back from Fragsters as well as CSGO because of this. This is always a really sad thing to see when stress and anxiety is the reason for someone to step back from what they love, as opposed to not being good enough, because he certainly was, and Fragsters is certainly not the best team, of course, but still a team who's been hanging around for a solid amount of time now. It's always sad to see a player have to step back due to issues other than in-game issues. So, unfortunately enough, guys, Bubski will be stepping back officially from that Fragsters roster. But also, very lastly, and a couple stories out there, guys, one big one for ESEA's future, which I think does smell a bit of who knows what the future is going to be for ESEA. We've already seen so much backlash about these guys. There's a strenuous list out there of what the ESEA has done wrong in the past, and now their product manager for nearly 10 years, that's actually Brett Sheffield. He started for ESEA as a volunteer, has now stepped down. ESEA Mountain Dew League Finals Season 29. This current season will be his last season with ESEA, and then he'll be open to other job offers out there. I think he's done a great job, not only as a product manager, he's been pretty much, in my opinion, also like a community manager out there, very active on Twitter and very active in the community out there. I think he will definitely find a great job, and again, like I said before, this spells, in my opinion, trouble for ESEA. Why else would he be leaving them? He does say he actually leaves on good terms, but again, a big loss there for ESEA. After this Mountain Dew League Finals season, he will be leaving. And that's going to do it for this episode of CSGO News. I hope you guys all enjoy. If you're going to stop back tomorrow, I will see you then for our quick Thanksgiving video. So thanks again for all of you guys who leave comments or leave likes on the videos. I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate you guys. If I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you, of course, back here on Monday, breaking down some crazy CSGO news. Some roster changes are sure to happen. On top of that, we're going to certify a lot of teams out there. We need our closed qualifier for the minor teams are going to be finalized, as well as the next 2 weeks. We're going to have our EPL teams, as well as our relegation teams for Mountain Dew League going to be certified as well. A lot of great things happening in CSGO. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you back here tomorrow, or of course Monday, breaking down CSGO news here on the Esports Talk channel. My name is Jake. I will see you all then. Hints for tomorrow, guys. Cluck, cluck. Pow, pow. Bye.